So guys, another auction weekend, we're off. I've got my coffee ready to go. Let's hit the road. So I just finished up the first auction. Properties passed in, not very much bidding at all. We had one bid in total and negotiations with the buyer unsuccessful. There's just too much of a gap between the seller and the buyer at this stage, and the seller's just not willing to entertain the offer at this point in time. So quick negotiations, quick auction, onto the next one. Now, before we go on to the next one, I did have a lovely conversation with a first home buyer that's attended the auction. He was there with his partner looking to observe, which is a great thing to do if you're a first home buyer. He asked me a very good question. Now, he asked me, when the auctioneer calls 3, 2, 1, is it sold? And the answer to that is only if it's on the market. And what does that mean? So if it's on the market, that means you've reached the minimum price that the seller is willing to sell for. That's the reserve price. Now, once the property has been announced on the market, then if the auctioneer goes 3, 2, 1, it sells to the highest bidder. Now, if it doesn't reach the reserve price and the property is not announced on the market, well then, that's when the property is passed in to the highest bidder. So what that means is when the property is passed in, you haven't reached the seller's minimum price to sell, and only the highest bidder will get invited inside to negotiate and see if we can come to an agreed selling price. So that means if you're the highest bidder and you get invited inside the house to negotiate further, even if there's somebody else that's interested in buying the property and they could offer more, they aren't able to until you have finished your negotiations. So a very important position to hold if you are really genuinely interested in buying the property. So great question from our first home buyer. Question again, is it 3, 2, 1 sold? Answer, it depends. If the property has been announced on the market, then yes, sold. If not, then passed in to the highest bidder, and only that bidder will get to negotiate with the seller. Now, if you're a first home buyer and you're wondering how to get into the market and what the auction process is like, do what this buyer did and just go to auctions and see what it's like. You don't have to bid, you just have to show up and see what the environment is like, how people bid, learn more about the auction process so that when you are ready to make the leap and purchase, then you're very well researched. Now, this buyer is going to be looking to buy in the next year or two, and that's how far in advance that he's starting to get involved in the buying process, going out into the market, and that's something that I'd highly recommend. Speak to the agent, speak to the auctioneer, get as much advice and information about the process as you can, obviously with a grain of salt. Do your own research as well, but it's a really good place to start if you're new to home buying. So if you like the content, give us a like, subscribe, show me that you're interested, and comment anything else down below that you would like to know about the Melbourne property market, auctions, the auction process. And also let me know if you're a buyer or a seller in the marketplace and what kind of questions that you have. All right, good chat. On to the next one. Auction number 2. Guys, we're at the location for the second auction in Dingley Village. I thought I'd just quickly take a moment to show you what we're auctioning off. It's a very beautiful place, very quiet streets, family friendly, lovely park. We're in William J. Bardell Park. I hope you stick around to see how the auction goes. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the team here at Coco Mar Real Estate, thank you very, very much for joining us here for what I'm sure will be a spectacular auction. And what a crowd we have here today. Thank you so much for your time and participation here today. I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic auction because we have a stunning property on the market here for your competition, 3 Albert Place in the beating heart of Dingley Village. So I'm going to give you to the count of 3 and we are selling away once at $916,000, twice at $916,000, sir. Last opportunity, third and final time. We are selling away. We are selling. Last chance.
We are sold. Congratulations. Welcome to the neighborhood. Commiserations to our underbidders and congratulations to our new owners. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday afternoon.
Dingley Village, you showed up today, ready to play. We had a massive crowd, at least 40 to 60 people there in the crowd. 2 active bidders, started at $800,000 and the auction went up for a total of about 20 minutes until we sold under the hammer for a whopping $916,000. That's 16 grand above the written reserve price. So congratulations to the owners and my clients as well. Very successful auction campaign. This one was tight. We had one bidder going into the auction and another one emerged, luckily, to help drive the competition that secured our result. So you never know what's going to happen on auction day. You just got to trust the process, and in the end, a fantastic result for everybody. So well done across the board, and let's hope the next just like that. And we're back at home. All 4 auctions done for the day. The last 2 was a double auction. Now we called the first one and that one passed in too far from the seller's reserve price, so the second one didn't end up getting called. For the first one we had 2 buyers, 2 bidders going back and forth. Started at 600, went to 640 and placed a vendor bid at 670. Now, negotiations unsuccessful there. We weren't able to get to a price where both the seller was willing to sell and the buyer was willing to come up to. So no luck there. Bidding activity all round was pretty low, except for that one auction that popped off in Dingley Village. So all round, it seems like buyer confidence is quite low and sellers are expecting much higher for their properties. That's my weekend for this week. Hope you had a good one, enjoyed this kind of a content. If you like it, give us a like, comment what you like to see and what kind of commentary you'd like from me. Otherwise, see you next week.